The situation in West Asia remains in limbo despite an ongoing ceasefire and diplomatic efforts to end months of fighting. Iran's Revolutionary Guards are now warning that any renewed American attack could trigger a war extending far beyond the region. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has said that military action remains on the table if Tehran refuses to strike a deal, although there is now some movement which seems to suggest that a deal could be nigh, where oil prices have plunged again by about 5% and US bond yields have also declined. Let's get you more with this report.
Despite an ongoing ceasefire and diplomatic efforts to end months of conflict, tensions between US and Iran continue to rise. Iran issued its strongest warning yet on Wednesday, threatening to expand the conflict beyond the region if US launches new strikes. The warning came after US President Donald Trump revealed he was an hour away from ordering another military campaign against Iran before delaying the decision to allow more time for diplomacy. Trump also told reporters at the White House that Iran is begging to make a deal.
I was an hour away. We were all set to go. You're talking about yesterday.
Yes.
We were going to be striking it would have been happening right now. Yeah, it was all done. The boats, the ships are all loaded. They're loaded to the brim. And we were all set to start. I had made the decision. So they called up. They had heard I made the decision. They said, sir, could you give us a couple of more days? Because we think they're being reasonable.
The latest exchange highlights growing instability despite a ceasefire that halted major fighting in April after weeks of US-Israeli strikes on Iran and retaliatory attacks across the region. US Vice President J.D. Vance said negotiations are making good progress, but also warned that the US military remained locked and loaded.
We are not going to have a deal that allows the Iranians to have a nuclear weapon. So as the president just told me, we're locked and loaded. We don't want to go down that pathway, but the president is willing and able to go down that pathway if we have to.
Iranian officials, however, insist they are prepared for another confrontation. At the center of the standoff is the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical oil shipping routes. Iran has largely restricted passage through the strait since the conflict began, fueling global energy concerns and driving up oil prices worldwide. Shipping traffic has slowly resumed. The conflict is also spilling across the wider region. Israeli airstrikes destroyed buildings across Lebanon, while Jordan's military says it shot down a drone that entered its airspace Wednesday morning. The United Nations Security Council has condemned a recent attack on nuclear facilities in the Gulf, warning that further escalation could threaten regional and global security. While International Atomic Energy Agency warned that a direct hit on the UAE's nuclear power plant could result in a very high release of radioactivity.
A hit that disabled the lines supplying electrical power to the plant could increase the likelihood of its reactors' cores melting, which could result in a high release of radioactivity.
For now, diplomacy continues behind closed doors, with Pakistan mediating talks between Tehran and Washington. But with both sides exchanging threats almost daily, ceasefire remains fragile and the region continues to be on edge. Ravindra Chauhan's report for DD India.